Hello and welcome back to the Tom Cristiano Show. Well, today is a remote special show at the Barrett Byam Homestead. We're going to be talking to many people, looking at all the exhibits here and having a lot of fun. Thanks for watching. So I'm here with the president of the Chelmsford Historical Association, Becky Warren. Thanks for talking with us, Becky.
Oh, my pleasure, and thank you for being here, and thank you for being here for Farm Fair. It's a great day for the Historical Society to celebrate Chelmsford's agricultural past. You know, it's how Chelmsford got started, and it's the early history of Chelmsford. So the Society is here to help tell that story.
Yeah. And what is this, about the 12th year of the Farm Fair, something like that?
It is, thanks to Bernie Reddy having a vision of saying, you know, we should promote and celebrate what this town used to be like. And there are little vestiges of that old Chelmsford, and this is one of those places at the Historical Society where people can kind of step back in time, walk into the Barrett Byam Homestead, and get a little sense of what it was like for the early Chelmsford residents.
And the Barrett Byam Homestead is on Byam Road here in center South Chelmsford, off of Route 27. And about how old is this homestead?
So about the early 1700s. What we had thought originally, it was in the late 1600s. However, we think there was another building somewhere nearby, because back in that time, they would build a house and move it or take it down and put it somewhere else, and that was normal. So as far as we can tell, very early 1700s. We've got the low ceilings, we've got all the fireplaces. So for the building itself, it is historic. It's changed over time, inside and out, but we do have some of the essential elements of that early homestead, like our fireplaces. Yes. And these low ceilings.
And this is where the Chelmsford Historical Society board meets, right? Here in the Barrett Byam Homestead?
That's correct. So the society was formed in the 1930s by residents of town who said, you know, we should be preserving our story of Chelmsford. Not just agriculture, but everything that has to do with Chelmsford. But they didn't have a home, and they had their collections in family homes at first, and then the Adams Library was where the Historical Society was based. Oh. And then in the 1960s, the folks that owned this house that we're in today, they were going to move, and they donated it to the Historical Society, and it's where our home has been since the 1960s.
The family donated the home to the Chelmsford Historical Society. Do you know the name of that family, so we could, maybe their descendants are here?
Sure. Mr. Albert Murray, the Murray family, is who owned the house at the time, and they were kind enough to appreciate the history of Chelmsford, and they've got beautiful grounds. There's quite a bit of acreage here as well, so it wasn't just one of the main historic houses in town, but also with enough space to remind you of the open space that Chelmsford used to have.
And earlier, just a few minutes ago, you gave us all a tour of this Barrett Byam Homestead, and I think you mentioned some of the families that lived here for 100 years at a time?
Sure. So we call it the Barrett Byam Homestead because the Byam family lived in this homestead for 100 years. Wow. And then the Barrett family lived in the homestead for 100 years. And then a few owners changed, and then the Murrays got it, and then it's been the home of the Chelmsford Historical Society ever since.
And speaking of historical, I believe your family, the Warren family, has been in the United States and here in Chelmsford maybe since what, the 1600s?
So the 1630s, the family arrived in Massachusetts anyway, or to the colonies, and then did own land in Chelmsford a little bit after that time. And where my family is situated today, on the farm, an old farm in town, that was a wedding gift that came into the Warren family in 1699. So we've been here for over 300 years.
That's fantastic. In fact, I live right near your land, I believe. You're off of kind of Boston Road and Fay Street, right? In between there, 20-something acres or whatever?
So it's about, the whole area is about 65 acres. Wow. With 3 different homes, 2 historic homes and 1 new home attached. And the Warren family still gets out there and bales hay in the summertime. So it is still producing an active farm at the moment anyway.
Wonderful. Was Warren Avenue named after someone from your family?
That is correct. That was owned by Warrens at the time, and over time they had a lumber business, so they would buy land and cut down the timber and make timber into, so cut down the lumber and make the timber, and they didn't need the land anymore, so they sold it off, and so we started having the early developments in the town of Chelmsford at that time.
Well, thank you so much for talking with us, Becky. You're currently, as I mentioned before, the president of the Chelmsford Historical Society, and you've been active with the society for many, many years, right, Becky, or a few years?
So I got introduced to the society in 1984 and became on the board at that point, and have done a variety of things, so I'm very proud to be the president at this time and know that Chelmsford's history with the whole board and the residents of Lowell are protecting that history.
And you're doing a fabulous job, Becky. Thank you so much for talking with us today. Becky Warren, thank you.
You're very welcome, and my pleasure.
I'm here at Jones Farm with Phil Jones, a former Chelmsford Citizen of the Year, and he's here. He comes every year to the Chelmsford Farm Fair with the Jones Farm booth, right, Phil?
Yes. Yeah, we're here this year for at the end of the season and having fun just like we have every year here.
So how did this season go, farmer-wise? Were the crops good or bad this year? I know we didn't get much rainfall.
We had a great year early, until our well went dry, but so the last week or two have been a little challenging. But we got some late crops we've had to water by hand, but we have they're coming in still. But it's been a challenge near the end of the deal.
Has your well?
It's been a great year for growing for us.
Has your well ever gone dry previously?
Never.
What do you think caused it, Phil? Do you have any idea?
It's just been way too dry.
I see, way too dry.
Yeah.
So the rainwater didn't seep in there to replenish.
We had plenty of water early on. Yeah, there was, but it was a dry spring, and then we had some rain, and then it was dry again. But it's been really, really dry this fall.
So how did things go at the farm this year? You had plenty of crops, though, and how was the business? Was the business good?
I think the business was really good for us, I think. We actually closed 2 days this year. We've never done that before. And we've still been okay. But it kind of gave us some sanity for the season,
Just 2 days off?
Well, not 2 days off, but we worked them, but it was laid back more. It wasn't like oh, we have to be open and we have to be, and we could go away a little bit here and there. So it was fun.
Well, I hope so, Phil. Yeah. You and your wife Deb deserve it. You guys work so hard. Yeah, you deserve some time off.
Yeah, we do work pretty hard. Yeah. But it's been great. We've had a really, I think the year's been really good. We learned a lot more this year about the bionutrient dense growing, and we actually had stuff growing so fast this year and nutritious that we could pick it twice a day. It was unbelievable. We had some incredible, really high nutritious, the squashes, zucchinis, cukes, green beans. It was amazing how productive stuff was. It was really, really great.
And you also had the farm fair again this year, a farmer's market again this year, right?
Yes, yep. It'll be at Agway first in the winter, and we look forward to it. And we've got a lot of stuff growing already for that, and we're planting some stuff to put in the greenhouses. Our tomatoes are going by. We're clearing some of the tomatoes out, and we're going in and planting greens in it right now. We planted some mustards and the winter greens that'll handle the cold weather. Wonderful. Spinaches and lettuces and stuff. Yeah.
Well, we'll be doing another show at the Agway Farmers Market this winter, so hopefully we'll see you there.
We'll be there.
Talk to you again. Thank you so much for talking to us, Phil. So I'm here with Senator Mike Barrett. Thanks for coming, Senator.
Happy to be here. Given the Barrett name, my name, being at the Barrett Byam Homestead seems like a natural fit.
It does, yeah. You probably aren't related to these Barretts, are you? Or you could be, I don't know.
Whenever I'm asked, I always fib and say yes, but wink, wink.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any connection, no.
Have you been to the farm fair previously?
I have, yes.
Yeah.
No, I love this annual event, so I try to come by, and I've taken the tour. Everyone in town should take the tour of the Barrett Byam Homestead. And there's a room there filled with old newspapers and historic artifacts. I think some probably haven't been sorted through, so it's intriguing.
It's wonderful. And so you're going to be on my show next month, right, Bill? I think, yeah,
I am.
mid-October.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to that.
It should be great. We're going to talk about so many interesting things, including the presidential race. And we're going to have Selectman Janet Askenberg on the show.
I know, yeah. I'm looking forward to, I think you're going to have a couple of other guests as well.
The two state representatives, Jim Arcero and Corey Atkins, and one state senator, which is yourself. Thank you.
All great Americans. What a
Yes.
lineup.
Yeah.
Not quite as interested as any given Republican presidential candidates debate, but we like to think we'll get up there.
Well, one thing, it won't be 3 hours.
That's
show.
a good point. And yes, and I promise that I will not call anybody any mean names.
Yeah, you're always great on the show. I think you've been on, we're hitting close to double digits, if not already, of your appearances on my show.
Actually, Tom, I'll tell you something. I'm on cable shows all over my district. I represent 9 towns, from Weston and Sudbury, Waltham down south, all the way up to Chelmsford.
Yeah.
Yours is the best cable show of any of my 9 communities. And that's saying something. There's some lively competition there, but I really like the way you keep it fresh.
Thank you. Thank
Keep
you.
your guest list rich and interesting.
Thank you so much for saying that, Mike. I'm looking forward to having you on the
course,
show again.
And
you're-
it's terrific that you have me on occasion.
Oh, yeah, I love having you. Remember, before you became a senator, you
Yes.
were on my show. I remember it was like in
Right.
January of that year when the election was in November, but it was good so you could start getting exposure and first win the primary. You had that tough primary that first year. Remember, there were, I'm
There
sure
were
you
terrific-
do,
Well,
terrific candidates.
2012, there were 5 terrific candidates just on the Democratic side, and then you had Republican candidates as well. It was very lively around here. I went door to door, almost to every home in this town. Learned a lot, met a lot of nice people, got an occasional vote, so that's good.
And I think you're doing a great job, Michael.
Oh, thank you.
And one of the reasons is you show up to events like this. I see you so often here in Chelmsford, whether it's here or the 4th of July or our Winterfest or at the Christmas breakfast at the Parleys or whatever. I see you and your beautiful wife at so many places. It's wonderful.
Well, we've got some practical reasons too. Nancy just bought a ton of butternut squash over at the farm stand
Oh, nice.
because we've got an upcoming wedding, and it's sort of a bring your own dish. So we're going to bring them some Chelmsford butternut squash dishes, and I'm going to buy some this is important, Chelmsford Historical Society coasters for the cold soda cans in my State House office. Don't want to harm that wood.
That'll be wonderful, Michael. Those coasters came out really nice.
Yeah, actually, they did look fantastic up there. Yeah.
And if I recall, I think you told me you have one of my photographic art
I do.
images in your office, right, of the Chelmsford Center for the
In
Arts?
fact, so I have a terrific picture of the Chelmsford Center for the Arts right up on our State House office. But I'm actually in the market for a photograph from you as well. I want a nice, you do some beautiful photography of Chelmsford ponds.
Oh, yeah.
Chelmsford at different seasons, such as a long walk, long path shown in the autumn under the autumn leaves.
Oh, yeah,
So I'm
the
actually
Bible.
looking to buy a photograph from you too. We've got a lot of wall space in the State House, and I'd like to decorate it with stuff from my 9 communities.
Well, thank you so much, Michael. But for you, it'd be no charge. Honestly,
Well-
you deserve it. Now, so I love giving photos to good friends of mine like yourself, and you do such a great job for us, Senator. I really appreciate everything you do, and it's great talking with you today,
Excellent
Senator.
to talk to you. Beautiful day out here.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So I'm here with Randy Whitehead. What would you like to call Randy or
Randy.
right? Great. Is it Randall though? Your formal name?
It is.
Great. And you're on the board of directors here at the Chelmsford Historical Society, right? Randy?
Along with you, sir.
Yes. And so, what is your title here? What would you like to be called
Well,
on
I've
the
been called
board?
a lot of things, but I think orchardist
Orchardist.
is appropriate.
So you were here, and you might have even planted all these apple trees, right? Here
I
at
only
Byam
planted
Homestead.
2 of them.
Oh.
These two are recent trees over here, replacing some dead ones. John Gukwa, I believe, is the gentleman who originally planted them. But I've been taking care of this orchard for quite a while now,
Yes.
and this is our best year.
It looks like it. I've never seen the apple so large here at Barrett Byam Homestead.
Well, I understand it's a great year for apples everywhere, and we're no exception. It's the first year that we've had a crop.
Is it the
Yeah,
first year
yeah.
we've had a crop here
Yes.
of any significance, anyway? Right?
Exactly. They're very work intensive. They need to be sprayed properly. They need to be pruned properly. They need to be fertilized. We have to put up soap right here, Tom.
Oh yes, yeah. See the
this
soap?
is,
Oh, you got the-
Irish Spring soap,
oh yeah.
which keeps the deer away.
I remember that
a
came
lot
up
of
at the
deer.
board meeting. Remember
Yeah.
that a couple of years
That's
ago?
where I learned it.
Yeah. So we
And
put
I've
the
tried
Irish
it.
Spring soap here,
I've tried it and it works.
and it keeps the deer away.
It works.
Is that amazing? It must be such a strong scent, right?
It's-
That they don't like.
Right.
Wow.
I know.
So I don't know if you want to put that back there. Or you could.
It's okay.
You could
for
do it
now.
later.
It's
Okay.
okay for now.
Okay. And then we're getting the apples today. Like the children just brought down a basket of apples that they picked.
We have had kids coming here all afternoon, picking the apples, filling the baskets, bringing them back to the apple press where we make cider. They love the whole process. They love picking the apples. They love putting the apples in the cider press. They love grinding them up. It's a fun thing. It really is.
Nice. And we have that new cider press that we bought a few years ago, right?
Yep.
Remember the old one that kept breaking down or something?
Yeah, the old one was really old.
Like 100 years
I
old
know.
or more.
This is a modern version of the old one.
And it works great, right?
Works really, really well.
And today we're making cider with it, right? A lot of the children and adults are like helping to turn it and make the cider.
Absolutely. What comes out of that is the juice or the cider, and we take the mash, residual, and we throw it into the compost.
Yes.
So it's all recycled. And some of the people associated with the Bayham Barrett Historical Society take this cider home for their own use, or they make hard cider out of it. Bernie Reddy is the cider meister.
Doesn't every year he makes them, then brings it to our holiday party at the Barrett Bayham Homestead in early December.
He does that. In fact, today, right now, as we speak, he brought vintage 2013 cider from these trees, and or not from these trees,
Yeah.
but from this process. here.
Wonderful.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
It's all good.
Well, it's fantastic that this is the first year we're having
You.
a huge crop.
It's for you.
Thank you. Are these, by the way, edible just as they are? Or do
Oh,
we just use them for cider?
Oh no,
The
no,
re-
these are perfectly
What?
good.
It looks like a Macintosh, is it?
Are Macintosh.
Oh, Macintosh. Are they all Macintosh?
No, the new
Oh.
ones are different,
Okay.
but all the rest
Well,
are Macs.
Macintosh. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much,
Thank you,
Randy, and
Tom.
thanks for all that you do for the Chelmsford Historical
It's
Society.
all fun. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm here with Bernie Reddy, who is a member of the board of the Chelmsford Historical Society. And Bernie, you were one of the founders of this farm fair, right, Bernie?
Right. Well, you know, this year it's really coming to fruition. Like, this is a double press. In other words, over there they're chopping the apples up. Then after they get chopped up, we move it down. This young lady is pressing them, and then down here the cider comes. So this is a full thing. But this year is the first year Randy Whitehead, you've probably been over there, he had kids picking apples and actually brought our own apples over here to be picked. This, you know, this is what we envisioned, a total from the tree to the drink.
I know this is the first year, Randy
First
said we
year.
have all the apples
First
from
year
our
we
own,
got the
a
whole
lot from
thing,
our,
the whole
and the
thing.
apples look beautiful this year, Bernie.
They are really. You know, you can shine them up, shiny enough to give to your teacher.
Yeah.
But
So-
yeah, it's really great. And the volleyball girls are always great. They come down and they always help out here. They're wonderful.
And when did we start this farm fair, Bernie? About how many
12
years
years ago. About 12 years ago.
right?
It's been about 12 years, yeah.
So it's doing great, right? It's growing every year, isn't
well,
it?
it's steady. It's steady. You know, it's good to, you know, it's just everybody from town comes and has a good time. Why not?
And you bring chickens, and this year ducks,
Those are my
right?
chickens.
Oh.
They're actually my grand ducks. I gave a duck to Carolyn Polly, and that duck had. Remember when the bear attacked my ducks?
Yes.
The one that survived. That's the mother of those ducks.
Yeah,
the
and
one
you-
that survived the bear.
And you have, there's a bunch of ducks there, though. Are they all from
They're all
your
from.
duck?
They're
That's
all
amazing.
from. I gave it to Carolyn. Her duck had all those babies.
I think those ducks are beautiful over there, and your chickens are nice.
Those are my chickens. Right?
So how many chickens do you have now, Bernie?
I have 8.
8?
I have 8.
How do you like having that? You love it, right?
I love it. Fresh eggs. Nothing like a fresh egg.
Oh, by the
best.
way, have you done some preventive measures to try to keep the bears
I
away?
did. I really reinforced my coop. So, is anything bear-proof though? You know, I mean,
Yeah,
do the
yeah.
best you can.
So you reinforce it the best you can?
I did. I put real thick steel and everything. And I hope it holds.
Yeah.
I hope they don't come back. Is what I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And quickly, your brother Dennis is also on the board of the Chelmsford Historical
he is,
Society.
yeah.
Can you give the people at home an update of how he's feeling lately?
Dennis is doing good. He's got the best spirit of anybody in the whole world. He looks forward to every day, and he's out there trying to sell real estate still, if you can believe that or not.
Really?
He is. He
Oh
makes
my
phone
God.
calls all the time.
That's
Oh, yeah.
amazing.
He's got the best outlook on life of anybody I ever knew.
Wow. Well, you have a great outlook too. Thank you so much for talking
Okay.
with us, Bernie.
Thanks, Tom. Bye-bye.
So I'm here with Vivian Merrill, the president of the Chelmsford Dog Association, and you have a booth here today, right? What's your booth all about, Vivian?
We're raising funds for the dog park. That's going to be at 54 Richardson Road in Chelmsford. Our big fundraiser of the day is paw print paintings that for a $10 donation you walk away with your own custom painting.
And do the dogs do the paw prints or do humans as well?
No, the dogs will dip their paws in the paint and do their little dance on the paper, and then they'll wash them off, obviously. And
It's water soluble paint. It just washes off. Because my neighbor's going to do that pretty soon with her dog Zoe.
wonderful, wonderful, yeah.
So you're raising some funds, as you've been for many years now, for the Chelmsford Dog Park, right?
Yes, yep. We had a very large grant that paid for the majority of the construction, and now it's like the little amenities and stuff like that the grant doesn't cover for. We're just raising the funds ourselves, through games and things you can buy and T-shirts and all kinds of stuff, little raffles.
Nice. Well, on Facebook, I saw some videos of the dog park. It's looking beautiful, right?
Thank you
We're
very
not
much.
finished yet, but
Oh,
could you
no.
tell us the status of it?
Right now, most of the fence is up. A lot of the walks have been laid. A lot of the parking lot's been laid. The areas that are going to be grassy are full of a lot of weeds right now. And we got the brick patio that should be installed over the next couple of Saturdays or so, and then they can finish up the fencing. The language for the signage is being reviewed by town council, from what I've been told. And once more things are done, we can start looking at trying to establish an opening day, but we don't have one yet.
But right now, it looks like it might be next spring, right? The spring of 2016.
Yes, I suspect that's what's going to happen.
Well, I can't wait to that because we'll do a nice video of the opening of the dog park, which would be nice. A 1-hour video, hopefully.
Yeah, that would be awesome because we have a lot of plans for it. There's a lot of groups that are interested in using the training area. We got the big and the small dog area. There is a lot of excitement. A lot of people are looking forward to it. So the sooner the better. But the wheels of contractors move slowly, and we do what we can.
Well, speaking of which, you've done so much for the Chelmsford Dog Association. In fact, you were given a Chelmsford Citizen of the Year award, I believe, a couple of years ago. Well deserved.
Thank you very much.
And because you work so hard putting it, along with your committee, you have some of your committee members here, right?
A lot of my board is here. A lot of our new members are here. It took a village to make this project happen because a lot of people contributed by attending our past events, and like I said, it's really been a community project.
And you've all done a fabulous job, and I can't wait to see it open. I have 3 cats, no dogs, but I'll be visiting there often because I love dogs.
There you go. That's the purpose. Yeah, come see it and see what's going on.
Great. Thank you so much, Vivian.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm here with Lisa Bogulis. How do you pronounce your last name, Lisa?
Bogulis, you did it right.
Oh, Bogulis, nice. The co-owner of the South Chelmsford Agway, along with her husband Manny. And who's with you today?
Maximus.
Is Maximus your new dog, your son's?
Well, my son's new dog, but really it's mine now.
And what kind of dog is he?
He is a Cavalier King Charles.
I think he's absolutely beautiful. What a beautiful dog. How is he at home? Is he housebroken yet?
Yep, he's a good boy. Yep, very good. Very cuddly lap dog.
Wonderful. And so you've had the Agway for a number of years now, right?
Yeah, 5.5 years.
5.5 years. Wow, time's flying by, right?
It is.
And every year, just about, you come to the farm fair, don't you?
We do every year. We've been here every year.
Wow. And you have, is it more for visibility, or do you sell some things
we're not
too?
really selling, just more get people an idea of what's inside our store.
Nice, nice. And what is inside your store, just to let people know? It's a South Chelmsford Agway. Is it Maple Road?
Maple Road, 24 Maple Road.
Right next to the bike path, too, for people who bike by it or whatever?
Right, exactly, right along the bike trail.
So what do you have there at the Agway?
We do lawn and garden. We have Agway products, Scott's products for lawn and garden, and then we have wild bird seed, wild bird feeders, pet food, all the premium pet foods like Blue Buffalo and From and all that, and then farm feed, that's a big one.
Yes,
So for horses, for chickens are big. So,
Nice.
yep.
And in the winter, I guess beginning November through February, you sponsor the Winter Farmers Market here in Chelmsford, right? Over there at Agway.
Yep, right here. There's a little sign.
Little sign about it.
Yep.
So it's, was it Saturdays or what?
Saturdays, November through February, every Saturday, 10 to 2. We have all sorts of vendors with meat, vegetables, eggs, bakery items, seafood, a lot of takeout food. So,
It's fantastic. And in fact,
Fun.
I will tape a 1-hour show at a Winter Farmers Market this year. Would that be okay?
that would be wonderful. I'd love that.
I think all the vendors might like the visibility too, I hope, or whatever visibility we get. They're wonderful vendors, by the way. They're all such nice people, and including you and your husband. You do so much for the community. I didn't mention yet, but all you do for the Billerica Cat Care Coalition.
Wonderful people.
You
Great
sponsor
organization.
barbecues, provide the food, the drinks, and donate everything to the Billerica Cat Care Coalition. So many cats and kittens have been adopted through your store. Plus, you bring in many other vendors and display people, and
Right.
it's a wonderful.
Seminars and things going on all the time in the store. Beekeeping, canning, all sorts of stuff.
It's fantastically. I'm so glad you and your husband and your family are here at the South Chelmsford Agway. So it's always great to see you, Lisa.
And it's
Thank
wonderful
you.
to be here. Chelmsford people are awesome.
Thank you, Lisa. Thanks.
Thanks, Tom.
So I was lucky we're at the end of our shoot today, but we have a number of members of the board of directors of the Chelmsford Historical Society. So with me today we have Jerry. How are you, Jerry?
Fine.
What's your last name, Jerry?
Sullivan.
Jerry Sullivan, right. And you take tremendous photos for the Historical Society.
That's me. That's where they are.
And you also just started as a treasurer of the Historical Society, right?
That's true.
And I saw the first report you did. It's fabulous, Jerry. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Go.
How do you like being on the board of directors?
It's been an adventure.
How many years have you been on the board?
5.
5, nice. So about the same as me, pretty much. So thank you so much, Jerry, for talking with us today and for all the great work that you do for the board and the Historical Society.
Pictures are on the website.
Yeah. And your wife also is on the board as well now,
True,
right?
she is, yes.
Yes. Thank you, Jerry.
Okay.
Thank you. And we have our vice president. Are you still
How you
the
doing?
vice president, Bob?
I am still the vice president.
Right. This is Bob Peterson, right?
Yep.
How do you like being the vice president?
It's fine. Someday I might be president.
All right, yeah. Because usually the presidents are 4-year terms, is it?
I think so, yeah.
Something like that?
They're
So-
2-year terms, but you get reelected.
So are you going to be the Joe Biden of Chelmsford? Are you going to maybe jump into the ring or what to become president?
It's still up in the air.
And well, thank you for all the work you do, Bob. I know I see you at a lot of the meetings. You do great work. You're at all the events.
Thanks.
So thanks a lot, Bob.
Thank you.
And you have a historical home too, your own home in Westford, right?
Yes, we have an old home that was built in 1687.
1687. Oh my God. A lot of work. Your wife was telling me you guys are spending a lot of time fixing it up.
Time and money.
Yeah, right. Well, better you than me, Bob.
yeah, better than me than you.
Well, thanks for
I wish it
talking.
was you.
Yeah, thanks for talking with us, Bob. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
And we have my friend John Goffin with us today. How are you, John?
How are you? I'm doing well. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. And Bob, what is your office on the board of directors?
Actually, right now I do the house manager, but we've have the president, vice president, done a little bit of everything for the society. This is a great event, and it wouldn't be possible without everybody here and everybody around you. You know, today in parking, we saw 30 cars better for volunteers that we had to make sure they were out of the way so we could fit everybody on site.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, you do a lot of work here, don't you, John? I've seen you here when I bike by very often on your own, working, helping out with the landscaping or the signage or so many different things, right, John?
Well, it's a passion, so if you're into the passion and you live it and breathe it, yeah, I find time to do it. My wife doesn't like that I find so much time, but that's okay. You know, it's a good society. So.
And how many years have you been on the board, John?
I was thinking about that, and I'm thinking maybe 15 years now. It's really gone by really quickly.
And here's your granddaughter here. Do you want to say hello?
This is Alexis.
Alexis. Hi, Alexis. How old are you now, Alexis?
11.
11. Could you move over here a sec? Oh, you have a nice Love T-shirt, too. So Alexis, you're 11 years old. Nice.
Yeah.
So
She's been on she's helped us. This is her third or fourth year that she's been with us now. So next year she's going to get a staff tag, and she's really going to have to work through the whole process for the full 4 hours. Even though she's here for 6 or 8 or whatever it is, she's going to have to work hard, whether she knows it or not.
Yeah. So what do you think about that? You're looking forward to it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Well, thank you so much for helping. John, thank you for all that you do
pleasure.
for the
Thank
board. Thank you very
You as
much.
well, Tom.
Thank you. And Randy, you want to say a
Hey,
few
Tom.
words before we talk to Bill?
No, I've already said everything I have to
Oh, you
say.
did?
You know.
Well, it's great.
It's good to see you here. And,
Good to see you.
I know you took a lot of pictures and
Well, a lot of videos.
interviewed a lot
yeah.
of people. So good for you,
We
Tom.
got some great interviews with
Yeah.
many of the people on the board. I should mention that the person in charge of this affair, Donna Parley, didn't want to be on. That's why I didn't interview her. So Donna, you did a great job, but I know you just didn't want to be on camera today.
Yeah, Donna does a wonderful job, and her husband does a great job as well. He drives the wagon
tractor,
around.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you, Randy, for all that you do on the board.
Thank you,
How
Tom.
many years has it been?
I don't know, about 10, I guess.
About 10. Great. Thank you very much, Randy. And Bill, you're also on the board of directors, of
I am.
course, right?
Yes.
What's your last name, Bill? I'm sorry.
Nolan.
Nolan, yes, I keep forgetting. Yeah.
One of the West Chelmsford boys.
West Chelsea, right? How many years have you been on the board, Bill?
I think 3 or 4 now.
3, 4. And are you a board member at large, or do you have a
At
specific?
large.
Nice.
That's right.
Like me, great. How do you like being on the board?
I do.
It's great.
I'm working in different things in historic preservation in town on the Historical Commission, and this is just a natural place to be for me. So
Oh, you're also a member of the Historical Commission?
that's correct.
Like Fred Miriam as
That's
well,
He
right?
and I are there together.
And you have some good ideas about the gazebo that some people want to put on the common, but you would rather see it over on Mill Road, if anywhere, right?
Mill Road or Roberts Field, where there's plenty of space, plenty of parking, no congestion.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Bill. I think it'd be better there where there's parking, no congestion, rather than in the center where it really won't fit in well right
It's
now.
going to be awful tight, and then you've got traffic when they're trying to hold a concert, and the common's very small,
Yes.
and we'd have to move other buildings off the common to do it. So
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Bill. Thanks for
pleasure.
all that you do for the Historical Commission, Historical Society, and also I know you're a town meeting representative in Chelmsford, so thank you for all of that.
and thank you for all that you do.
My pleasure, even though it's not much.
Thanks.
Thanks, Bill. So I'm here with
Fred Lawson from Billerica.
Fred Lawson from the Rick. Hi, Fred. You have some unusual garb today. What is this about?
This is called a workman's smock. It was to protect your clothes, and it actually, I found them back into the 17th century, but they were very popular in the 18th and spilled over into the 19th century. It was just to protect your clothes while you were working.
And where did you find this? Did you happen to make it, or did you buy it somewhere?
My wife researched clothes for years and made all our colonial stuff.
Wonderful. And you have a colonial type hat. Is that a colonial type hat?
It's a tricorn.
Yeah.
Made out of straw, and no, I didn't make it. A hat maker would have made it.
Right, yes. And so you love history, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
Fred, is it? Fred?
Yes. I love
Fred,
history.
and you're here in a special booth. What's your booth about today, Fred?
Basketry.
Do you make baskets?
Everything you see here has been made by one other lady that just left, and you'll meet Karen later and myself.
Wonderful. Wow. So do you weave baskets almost every day or something?
As an aside, just this year I've made 270 some baskets so far.
You're kidding. That's amazing. That's averages about one a day or more, right?
I'm a little ahead.
That's fantastic. Wow. And maybe could you show us one or two of your favorite baskets here today?
This is one of my oldest style. It's called a hen basket, and I've seen one come out of a Viking midden in England.
A hen basket, H-E-N?
Yes. It was to get your hen to or from market.
Oh, and would the hen stay in there?
They do. It's been filmed.
Nice. So that's a hen basket, $40. Very nice. It looks like a complicated basket to make, right?
It's fun. This style, you start with 3 hoops, 2 the same size, and a center one, and you start weaving the handle. As you work down, you can add the other ribs in.
Nice. Beautiful. Well, do you have another basket too, Fred, to show us?
This is a small version of it, but it was called a Chebeague Island clam basket down in Maine, and they used these before they had the wooden clam rockers you see today.
Oh, I see. Wow. This looks like a nice sturdy basket as well, Fred.
And I do shaker baskets like that one,
Beautiful.
and it goes all around. Berry picking baskets. This was called a cheese basket.
Yeah.
You put cheesecloth in one of them, use the other one into the curds and whey as a strainer,
Oh.
and that's the only reason the cheese is round, was the basket it was made in.
Do we have people actually making cheese around here lately?
Several people have bought my baskets to
Wonderful.
do the old-fashioned way.
You know, they're beautiful baskets, Fred. How long have you been doing this?
My first basket was 1987.
Really? So it's been a while, huh? So you really enjoy doing
I
it?
absolutely love it, and I go around doing historic sites all the time. I'm the basket maker for the Paul Revere House in Boston. Gore Place in Waltham has us every spring. Strawberry Bank has us once or twice a year up in Portsmouth.
Beautiful.
So we do lots and lots of historic sites in places like this.
Have you been to the farm fair at Chelmsford before?
It's only because of Donna Parley that I'm here.
Oh, I see. Donna invited you?
Yep.
Nice.
She's
Well,
well,
we're
one of my baskets. And,
Oh.
yeah.
Well, we're so glad you came. You're a beautiful basket weaver. Oh my God. How long does it take to make one of these baskets?
Till it's done.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's a
I'm
good.
sorry, you never finish a basket the same day.
Oh, really? Oh,
As you're making a basket, you work with them wet. And it only expands and contracts sideways, so I can shape the basket. But before I do the top, I have to pack these all down as it dries.
I see. Yeah.
Then you have to re-wet the top and tuck them in. See how they're tucked in to hold the
Yes.
top in?
Yeah.
And then you put the rim on. This style basket.
Well, it's beautiful work, Fred, and thank you so much for talking with us. So I'm here with.
Karen Zeno.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm Tom Cristiano. We do a cable TV show here in Chelmsford, and you're a basket weaver, I would guess.
Yes, I am.
From Woburn, is it? Or
No, I'm from Waltham.
Waltham. Nice. Nice.
Yeah, so I've
So,
been.
you're weaving a basket now?
Weaving one right now. Actually, I'm to the point of adding a piece here. And this is what we call chase weaving. I have an even number of staves, so I have two weavers going at once.
Oh my God.
If it's an odd number, you only have one weaver. And Nantucket, by definition, always has a wooden base. It's done over a mold. And it's a very tight weave.
How did you learn this, Karen?
I started taking lessons. I always loved the baskets. Of course, I had seen them being from Massachusetts. And I loved them. Was afraid of the price, but I now know why.
Oh yeah, there's so much work that goes into each one, right? The materials, they aren't that expensive, are
Oh,
they?
yes, they are. Like a 5-inch basket, you're talking about $75 just for materials.
You're kidding me.
No.
$75 just for the materials?
Yes, between the rim, your handle, your base, and then your cane. The cane I'm using is $50 a pound. And I have two types in this here, plus your knobs, your plugs. It all adds up.
So that's why this basket is $240, right, Karen?
Right. And that's about 2 weeks worth of work on top of it.
Wow, amazing. And what is this basket for generally? I mean,
Use it
for whatever they want, right?
Yeah, whatever you want to use it for storing stuff.
Oh, it's beautiful. You did a fantastic job. It is a work of art. It's wonderful. And what is this one here that you're working on called?
Working on it's an octagon, yeah.
An octagon. Oh, nice.
So, and every one of these, I have a different mold for it. So you know you have an investment of your molds, and in Nantucket actually was your first recyclable. Your molds were from Sparta, Mass, from the ships. The bases they use from the cooperage, the leftover wood. And the cane, actually, if you go up to the Peabody Essex Museum, you will see some china that was packed to be shipped to the States. And they had straw, and then they wrapped the cane around it to tie it and hold it in place, and then would put it on the ships. So the Yankees, being as frugal as they are, would undo the whole thing, and just by soaking it, comes back to life and you can reuse it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming to our farm fair this year.
Great coming here, and it was just a beautiful day here.
It's great to see you, and it's nice to see you dressed up in the colonial fashion.
Yes. Yeah. Fred and I have been working. We belong to the same guild. That's how we met, and we've been going to different shows.
Well, thank you so much, Karen. Thanks for coming to the farm fair. Bye now.
Bye.
I'm Norm Jones. I live here in Chelmsford, and I've been building model engines for a number of years. And I've got a display here of some of the things that I've built over the years.
Great.
This one on the end here is called Heroes Fountain, and this goes back over 2,000 years. And this is the display that I really like to bring out because I can give away the plans. And I had a young fellow here that came by a little while ago. He was at the 4-H fair earlier, and he and his father built one of these things, so I was very happy to see that.
Oh, nice.
But the way this works is the bottle on the top starts out full of water. The one on the ground starts out empty. You pour water in here. It falls from this level to ground level by gravity, compressing the air in the lower container, which in turn compresses the air in the upper container, forcing the water up to a small diameter opening.
And that's how we get this little fountain
That's how you
here?
get the fountain. That's right.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, could you show us what this other machine
Yeah,
is?
this one is called a Merry Explosive Engine. This goes back to 1895. It's a very early internal combustion engine design. Basically, it's a modified steam engine.
Oh.
It runs on propane. Propane comes in the middle here.
Yeah.
It can go either way. The intake valves are on the bottom. When you create a vacuum in that line, it sucks the valve open, allowing the gas to flow in. Each of these chambers has what's called an igniter, a set of electrical contacts that come together, allowing current to flow between a battery and an inductor. At just the right time, they snap open, and that's when you get your ignition.
And what's the purpose of this machine?
Well, this engine was originally intended to run an irrigation pump.
Oh.
There's only one full-size version of this known to exist out in California.
Oh.
So we don't have any records of the company, have no idea how many they actually built.
Oh, I
But
see.
it makes kind of a neat model.
Yes, it does. And what's this model
Now,
over here?
This one over here is called a Ryder
If you wanna
Erickson.
move over- if you want, we can move over.
This is called a Ryder Erickson hot air pumping engine. And this goes back to 1895 as well. They were popular between 1895 and 1915, and they were designed specifically to pump water. The beauty of this was all you had to do to make this run was to build a fire. So this has got a little firebox in it. It's got a propane fire in there. The full-size version would have a wood fire or a coal fire.
Wow.
So this is my well. The water comes up this pipe through the pump, gets circulated through a water jacket, then would normally go to a storage tank in an elevated location for a gravity feed water system.
Nice.
What I'm doing is I'm circulating water through the water jacket in the red engine and then putting it back in the well again here.
I see. Wonderful. And your name is Norm Jones,
Norm
right?
Jones. Yep.
And you do this as a hobby, or
Yes,
do you have
I
a
do.
business anywhere?
Oh, no, just a hobby.
Nice.
No, I belong to the New England Model Engineering Society here,
Oh, nice.
and we meet down in Waltham.
Well, it's great talking with you today,
Nice
Norm.
talking
Thank
with
you
you.
so much. I'm
You're
Tom
quite
Cristiano.
welcome. Nice talking with you.
Thank you. I'm here with Dina Peterson. You're on the board of directors, right, of the Historical Society?
That's right.
How long have you been on the board, Dina? About
5 years or so, maybe.
Oh, really? Oh, all the years I've been on, I guess.
Yeah,
So
I
you've
think
been
just before you.
Oh, nice, nice. And your husband is the vice president, Bob Peterson, right? Vice
That's right.
president of the Historical Society.
That's right, yep.
Nice. And you're in charge of the back border, the horticultural parts of it?
I have the horticultural title,
Nice, nice.
such as it is. So
So right now we're in the backyard of the Barrett Byam Homestead, and you're going to show us what we have here, what we've cleaned out and everything.
That's right.
So why don't you start showing us, Dina?
So you can look this way. Behind us here is a large burning bush, which is an invasive species, which will kind of take over. So we really want to get rid of a lot of the invasive species that are here. We have over here bittersweet. That's very invasive. Everyone knows about bittersweet.
Yes,
We've
yeah,
had
it's
a
very
lot
invasive.
of there have been a lot of multiflora roses we've taken out, and there are these evergreens that do not grow well. We really want to showcase these marvelous maple trees.
Yes.
Beautiful, full-grown,
Yeah.
awesome maple trees. And so we're trying to get native bushes, shrubberies to put under here. So if we walk up,
Yeah.
you can see this part has been cleared. Boy Scout Troop 75 was here
Yeah.
this summer,
Yeah.
and they cleared, you know, it was all looking like that. So they've cleared all out to here.
Beautiful. Wow.
So we just have to, you know, get the little stuff.
Yeah.
And then as we come up, you can see where we've started new plantings.
Yeah.
So we've started at the other end here. So I can tell you about, here's another invasive. This little leaf here,
Yeah.
it's called garlic mustard.
Oh.
And very invasive. It
Oh.
just takes over.
Oh.
The nice thing about it though is it's easy to pull out by hand. So
Well, that's good.
our goal is to plant these. These are native species. There's rhododendron here. That's a maximum rhododendron. It's going to get really large. This is a red bud, and in the spring it has really nice pink red flowers on it.
Did we just recently plant that, Dina?
Yes, this was just planted these were just been planted this spring.
Oh, nice, nice.
So we have some Andromeda, some Itea.
Oh.
We have some, this is a mountain laurel.
Oh.
This is an oak leaf hydrangea here, and more rhododendrons. So I'm trying to, in my booth, I'm trying to raise awareness of our project and raise money to purchase more bushes so that we can keep this up.
So we'll have even a more beautiful border than we have now, right, Tina?
And once these rhododendrons grow really large, we can take out these little saplings, and then we'll still have, because the rhododendrons are evergreen, and the stuff that's behind it, those are maple saplings mostly right here, but there are other bushes too. They are deciduous, which means they drop their leaves. So you have no visual barrier at all. So hopefully over the years, these will get, 10 feet tall and make a nice visual barrier.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for all the work you do, Dean, and your husband, Bob, as well, for the Historical Society. You're doing a great job. Thank you for talking with us today.
Thanks.
So I'm here with the Chelmsford volleyball team, and look at them. Aren't they wonderful? They have so many players here, and I don't know if you get a shot of all of them, but so you have a bunch of seniors, juniors, sophomores, freshmen?
All over the place.
Wow. How many members on the team?
There's about 37. 37 in the program.
37?
Yes.
All, would you call all varsity, or do you have junior varsity as well?
We have JVB, JVA, and varsity. Yeah.
Wow. So you're here today at the Farm Fair doing some fundraising, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And what do you have today?
We
Anybody
have
wanna do that?
cheeseburgers, hamburgers, hot dogs, chips, drinks, and baked goods.
So you have a lot of fun at Chelmsford High School? You love it?
Yeah, it's our senior year, so we're really trying to have fun.
Yeah, and also you have a brand new principal this year. But how do you like the new principal?
He's really good. He's nice.
He's very friendly.
He's really
He's
nice.
really friendly. Yes.
Yeah, his name is Steve, right?
Yeah.
Steve, what's his last name?
Murray.
Steve Murray, yes, yeah. Great guy. I've met him a few times, a wonderful person. So I'm so glad he came back to Chelmsford because he was at McCarthy Middle School, I believe, a principal over there. And he came back to Chelmsford, so I think you're going to love him if you don't already. But it's great. It's a great school, right?
Very good, yes.
So hopefully we'll see you back here next year.
Yeah, you will. Definitely will.
Thank you. So thank you for talking with us today. Hopefully you'll see the show on Chelmsford Cable TV. Thank you. Thank you. I'm here with an artist, David Drynan. How are you, David?
I'm doing great. Great, Tom. How are you?
Good, good, thanks. Have you ever been here at the Farm Fair before?
No, I haven't. It's the first time, and Donna Berger invited me, and I love Chelmsford, and my wife is from Chelmsford, grew up here, so I have a lot of roots here as well. But I have never been here before. It's a fabulous place.
Isn't it a great farm fair? It's a beautiful day, so many wonderful people and exhibits.
Oh, absolutely, and everyone looks like they're having a great time. I have to pull myself away from getting so focused on the painting and just step back and just take it all in and see what a great time everyone's having. It's great.
And speaking of the painting, it looks like you're painting the Barrett Byam homestead, the back of it, right?
Yes. I'm just doing a scene. It has a long way to go, but I'm just painting with the Historical Society tent. And if I get further enough in it today, then I'll throw some people in there as well.
And you are the resident artist at the Whistler House Museum in Lowell, right?
Correct, yes.
That's a wonderful honor, isn't it, to be chosen for that?
It's an honor and a privilege, yes, it really is. And I got appointed in January of this year. And it's, you've been to the Whistler House. In 1823, the house was built, but in the third floor, it's just a beautiful space, an attic space, kind of a European feel, big windows, northern light. It's just a fabulous place to be and do studio work. So yes, I'm very fortunate to be there. It's a great place to be.
And do you paint almost every day, David?
I do. I paint. I'm probably engaged 5 to 6 days a week. I'm a full-time painter, full-time artist, and I walked away earlier than I expected from another career, so I could paint full-time.
Well, and you're doing a great job, David. In fact, you were the Chelmsford Arts Group on Facebook Artist of the Month just a few months ago.
Yes, that was an honor as well, and that was a lot of fun. And to get that exposure,
because I featured your paintings like every other day. I'd have a new David Drynan painting, right? This month it's Trina Teal. You've noticed that, right?
Yes, I have, and I've been giving it some likes as well. Yes,
I noticed that. Yeah, it's wonderful. Next month, she knows it, so it's okay. Bethany Peck Galabosis. I'm sure you know Bethany.
Sure, I know Bethany. Yeah. Oh, that'll be great. I'll look forward to looking for that. Yeah, that's great.
So it's so great to see you here, David. Thank you for talking with us.
Awesome. Great to see you here.
Thank you. You'll see the link to this show on Facebook and on YouTube, so I'll make sure you're aware of it, hopefully.
That's great. Really. We'll look forward to seeing that.
Thank you. Thank you, David Drynan. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm here with my good friend, Fred Miriam, and he's a member of the Chelmsford Board of Directors of the Chelmsford Historical Society. And Fred is the Director of Information Technology and Accessions. Is that right, Fred?
Right.
And what does the accessions do?
The director part, but accessions means cataloging of the items that we have in the museum, and also accepting and deciding what to accept in the way of donations. When people have things from their parents' estate or their grandparents, they don't know what to do with it, but they think it might be of historical interest to the town. So we look at it, and if it has a strong Chelmsford connection, especially pictures, objects, even clothing from the past, if it has a strong connection, then we decide as a committee. I'll maybe email some of the board members and send them a picture and say, hey, do we want this? For instance, we had an offer, a very nice antique potty chair a few weeks ago, and it was offered by another town, and it probably in years past had some value, but it really didn't have any Chelmsford connection, so we unanimously decided not to accept it.
Yes.
But we have limited space here. We already have quite a large collection between the store and the House Museum and the Watt Stevens Center. So we're pretty careful about what we accept.
Yes. And you've been doing great work for the Historical Society and for the town of Chelmsford, partially by authoring a number of books about the Chelmsford history. One of them is this book right here, right, Fred? This one?
Right. This is from a couple of years ago. It's called Chelmsford Revisited, and it's the second Arcadia book that was written about Chelmsford, and this one has some really excellent pictures done by Arthur I. Emerson, who's a local photographer, and several other donations. And every picture has historical facts along with it, items of interest, a twist to each picture that you may not have ever seen before or heard of. And we have a lot of comments from people that own some of these houses or live nearby, and they're all excited about it.
Well, they're wonderful books, Fred. I love these. I love all your books, but especially when they have the photos of the historical photos, and then you're limited with the amount of space you could devote to each photo, right, Fred? Like one paragraph or something like that?
It's actually word count, 50 to 70 words per photo.
Yeah. So it's
they're
very,
very strict.
very strict, but it's a nice way to learn about the history of Chelmsford, a little at a time if you want, or you could read the whole thing at once, whichever you prefer. But I love these old photos, and you may have noticed on the Chelmsford news page on Facebook now, every Thursday, on Throwback Thursday, I've been posting a historical photo about Chelmsford, many of them that you have archived for us that I've been using from the Chelmsford Historical Society. Is that right, Fred?
Yes, well, I believe in spreading the history, and if you can take these photos and put a little historical perspective to each one, I think people will pick it up and they'll appreciate it as time goes on.
Yes, I think so, Fred. So it's a wonderful thing. You've devoted tons of hours photographing these old photographs. There's some are glass slides, right? And so it takes a while to get them all archived.
Well, let's qualify that a little bit. Back over 10 years ago, I had a few photo collections accessible and I photographed them. Then the town, we got a grant from the town, and we got an excellent scanner, and it will do negatives and glass slides.
Nice.
So in order to use a photo in a book for publication purposes, it has to be scanned. So photos aren't allowed.
Yes, it has
so
to be
we do
scanned.
very high resolution scans, and these are excellent too. If somebody sees one they like, we've actually given use permission to various organizations, companies in particular, to use these photos in their boardrooms or lobbies, that sort of thing.
And where I find all of them are pretty much is on the Chelmsford Historical Society has a web page, right? It's called Chelmsford Historical Society.
It's a whole website.
A whole website. And so one of the catalog items there is the slides or old photos, right, what's called. And I look under there, and then you could click on all these old pictures, maybe hundreds of them, I think.
It is literally hundreds. There's 4 categories. There's library, which are books. There's photographs, which includes negatives, glass slides, and postcards and photos. There's objects, which would include furnishings, things like that. And library, which is books and various publications.
Wow.
So my passion happens to be the photograph part of it.
Yes, it's wonderful. And you're a great photographer too, right, Fred, I think. So you take some nice photos. But another book that you've done is this one right here, right, Fred? You want to talk about that a little bit? What it is, and what it's all about?
Okay, well, the story behind this is through the Historical Society back in '03. I had my arm twisted to visit a historical commission meeting. Turns out they wanted to get their information out. They had 4 file cabinets full of historical information that Jane Drury and others had researched as part of the Historical Commission's mission. And this information wasn't accessible to anybody unless you had a key to go into these file cabinets. So they were wondering if I could help them make the information public. So I had never done a website or anything, but I really, I enjoyed seeing what was in the file cabinet. I got pretty excited about it. So finally I ended up saying, well, I've never done a website. I have no idea to do it, but how to do it. But I'll give it a try because this information needs to get out there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we organized it and put it in archival folders, and I took boxes of these folders home and scanned them. And this is old tech. This is about 10 years ago. So the website grew as time went on, got better, and got bigger and bigger, and so that was actually the Historic Commission website. So anyway, in the file cabinets, we moved. We were in town office. We got moved to town hall, which is really town hall, not Old Town Hall, but there was a sign out once that said Old Town Hall.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I don't blame people for calling it Old Town Hall.
Yeah.
And then we moved back. We said, okay, these file cabinets are really old. So let's get some new cabinets. So I had the action as a committee member to purchase some used cabinets. So we got some good used cabinets. And one sort of a rainy day, one of the guys had a van, and we brought a whole bunch of boxes over, and I took the boxes and took the folders and tried to put them in some organized fashion in these 4 brand new cabinets that we had. So I found one folder, and it had a piece of red yarn wrapped around it. which is very strange because none of the other folders were identified like that. And I opened the folder, unwrapped it, opened it up, and it had a table of contents, an introduction, and a conclusion. So I'm looking at it, and it was from Eleanor Parkhurst, and I realized, oh my God, I had heard a rumor that there was a history book that never got published. I said, this is the manuscript, and it was right here in our archives. So as I was looking through the various folders, I found mixed in among all the stuff, news clippings and so on, were actually all the chapters. So because now I had an index, I knew what the chapters were. So now I find the folder on the fire department, the police department, and town government, and all the various chapters that you see in the book here. And the next thing was we had this really rough manuscript that was hand typed on a really cranky typewriter that had highlighters and missing letters, and it was quirky typewriter. So there's no hope of scanning, which you could do if it was good text, and it had a lot of hand corrections and different colors too.
And you went through it
and
all.
yellowed paper. Well, I can type fairly well because I learned back in college the right way to type, and I started on it. And I said, "There's no way I'm ever going to get through this." So, and I actually ended up getting a team of 5 or 6 different people to transcribe.
Nice.
Some people did a couple of chapters, some people did a long chapter. So we had a team, it was a team effort.
Nice.
And everybody transcribed it, sent it back. Of course, now I've got Eleanor's errors and quirky sentence structure. She tended to make long run-on sentences, plus the new errors from my team. So I had to go through and edit all the spelling. Once you get through with all the spell check errors, okay, then you get a category of errors that you got words that are spelled right but don't have the wrong meaning. And then after the chapters were all assembled, I ended up actually writing the last 2, the business and industry, and then I decided to do a final chapter called Epilogue, because Eleanor, if you notice the title here, it says 1910 to 1970, okay? And I wrestled with that title for quite a while because when I was doing this was 2010, okay? So this is really a history of 1910 to 2010, so it's 100 years of Chelmsford history. But to be fair, all the chapters but 2 were done by Eleanor, and they ended about 1976, okay? And to be fair, if I were to write the next 40 years, that would take me the rest of my lifetime. So I said, okay, let me write an epilogue because I know how the last 40 years turned out. So let's take everything that Eleanor was working on and documenting and explain how they turned out now. Okay, for instance, when Eleanor was writing the book, they talked year after year about the need for a sewer system, okay? After Eleanor died, the sewer system got approved, and by 2010 it was actually finished. So I was able to give all the statistics on when it started and how it evolved.
Nice.
So it brings you all the way up to 2010. Town government, same thing. They had a town meeting system, and then after that they went to town meeting reps, and then they went to the town manager system. So that's brought up in the epilogue chapter, which is the last chapter in the book. The senior center. So there are a lot of different things that happened after Eleanor's time. So, but I didn't want to advertise that this was filling in the 40 years because there's a lot of people between 1970s and 80s and 90s that might be disappointed if they were looking for the detailed history on their time.
Well, you did a great job, and these books are still available.
Oh, I was going to tell you one other thing. We had some proofreaders, and I had 3 different proofreaders, including one that worked on the independent newspaper, Kevin Zimmerman.
I remember Kevin.
But after we got through all that, Judy Buswick, who's a professional author here in town, I twisted her arm. She agreed to review it.
Nice.
And when I got the manuscript back, it probably had 10 to 20 red marks on every single page, hundreds and hundreds of pages. So she actually took Eleanor's run-on sentence structure and like one sentence paragraphs and things like that. When she got through with it, when I got through reworking every single one of her corrections I agreed with, it became a very readable book. So I have to say, if anybody saw Eleanor's manuscript, you'd hardly find it compares with what's in here. This is a very readable book, and I've had a lot of feedback that people actually enjoy just sitting down and reading it. So it's more than a history book. It's a readable. And we tried to make sense. Like she had, there's paragraphs that got rearranged, so they're in the correct order and they make sense. So there's a lot of work done to make this readable and understandable.
Well, it's a great contribution to the history of Chelmsford, as are your previous book, and the book you're working on now is a follow-on to this book, right? Another Arcadia book?
Yes.
Of North Chelmsford, is it?
It's collaborated. They use quite a few pictures from a variety of sources, most of them the Historic Society, and they did some of North Chelmsford and some of Chelmsford. About 35 were North Chelmsford, and the rest were Chelmsford. So North Chelmsford really didn't get very well represented in the first book. When I started this book, once I got all the pictures chosen and the chapters, there was more than enough just to do this book on Chelmsford. Right, so my decision at the time was to do one just on Chelmsford and save the North Chelmsford for later. Now it turns out I've got all the pictures already lined up. I've got them all mastered, except I got 2 today. I got some from Bernie Reddy on the Roby Sword Factory. He had some in his, along with his Roby Sword collection. So I'll scan those, and I'm going to use a couple of those in the chapter on West Chelmsford. That's the last chapter in the book.
And when do you think that will be published, Fred, your new book?
I'm hoping to get it out for next July 4.
July 4th of 2016. That'd be great.
I still have to sign a contract, and then it's going to be working, hard work all winter long to get that finished.
Oh, you signed a contract before you write the book?
Well, in this case, I already knew all the requirements, so I said, okay, I'm going to go do the pictures first and then lay them into a Word document. I'll start writing the text that goes with the pictures, and once I decide that I'm pretty sure I can get it done by a certain date, because when you sign the contract you have to sign a date that you're going to have it ready, and they reward you for getting it done early, and I don't want to find out what happens if you get it done late. So I want to be confident that I can get it done, and I'm guessing it's going to be ready for next July 4.
Well, thank you for doing so much for the history and the history of Chelmsford and the Chelmsford Historical Society. And we should also mention that your wife has been a recent president of the Chelmsford Historical Society, right, Carol Merriam?
Yes, she was vice president for 4 years and president for 4 years also. So it was her work in the Historical Society that got me interested. I also wanted to mention, we talked about the Historical Society website with the pictures, objects, library, and so on. The Historical Commission website, I also recommend for people that want to learn about anything about monuments, meeting halls, waterways, homes in Chelmsford. There's a list of topics, and you click on each one and you get a whole selection of things to see there.
Do you have old photos that I could use on Facebook as well, on the Chelmsford Historical Commission site?
Yes, the Historical Commission has photos. They're lower resolution, but I think they're fine for emailing.
Great.
And in fact, those photos many times have some historical interpretation along with them that you can.
Wonderful. That's good.
You can summarize and spread the word, kind of like Johnny Appleseed of history,
Wonderful. Well, I love doing it because I'm also on the board with you at the Chelmsford Historical Society, and I love the history of Chelmsford. I love history itself. I love all that you and your wife are doing for the Historical Society. So thank you very much, Fred. Thank you for talking with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me over.
My pleasure.
Or actually, thank you for coming over to join us here at the tent here.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Fred. Thank you. So I'm here with the former president of the Chelmsford Historical Society and current board member, Carol Merriam. How are you, Carol?
I am fine.
Did you have?
It was a great day.
Wasn't it great? Did you? What did you were at the booth today, or what did you focus in on today?
I went behind Judy, who did the tours, and then I watched people in the Watt Stevens room, which was interesting.
Yes, I didn't even have a chance to go into the Watt Stevens room today. That's where we have a lot of the talks, and we have some displays in there, right?
Right, and I would direct the children into the country store where the penny candy was for sale by Victoria,
Oh, so Victoria did show up to sell the penny candy?
And the kids were all happy about that, yeah.
Could I ask, was the candy actually a penny, or was that just a name?
It was 5 cents.
Oh, that's not bad. 5 cents?
Yeah.
Nice. Did she enjoy selling that?
Yes, she had a good time,
Nice,
and
nice.
it was her idea because she remembered it as a child. when we sold penny candy here.
I remember being a penny when I was young. Do you remember that?
Yes, of course I do.
Oh, but that's a nice store that we have, and it's like an old late 1800s, early 1900 kind of general store, isn't it?
Yeah, and the fellow that built it, what was his name? He was a former president. He copied it after Sturbridge Village store, country store. Did you realize that?
No.
And we actually have the, what do you call it, the post office from South Chelmsford there, the equipment from that years ago.
Nice.
Yeah,
Wow.
so,
Nice.
and then people had a lot of fun collecting bottles and cans and all stuff that would be in a country store like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so you were the president for 4 years of the Historical Society, right?
Right.
What years were those? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Oh, that's fine.
It was before Becky, yeah.
Yeah, before Becky. And
Yeah.
so you did a great job because I was on the board when you were president too. You were a wonderful person, along with your husband, Fred.
Well, no,
The-
Fred wasn't interested in history until he retired, and I asked him to be the IT person on the Historical Society,
Yeah.
and now he's taken over.
Yeah. And now he's he's working on his third history book of Chelmsford.
Right, that's right.
Do you help him with these books at all?
I stay out of it pretty much. I went to Maine for the summer,
Oh,
and he
nice.
stayed in the basement working on his books.
Nice.
He would come weekends when we had company.
I see.
And I'd give him a drink.
Yeah. Well, it's great seeing with you. Thank you for talking with us today, Carol. It's thank you for also being on the board of directors of the Historical Society. You do a wonderful job, Carol.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you, Tom.
Thanks. So I'm here with
Caroline Barley.
Caroline Parley, and you're the daughter of Donna and Henry Parley, right?
Yeah.
And are these your horses, Caroline?
Yes, they are.
Wow. Have you had them very long?
I've had him for 9 years, and I've had him for 2.
Really? So how old is he?
27, and he's 15.
You're kidding. He's 27? He doesn't look it.
Yeah, I take very good care of him, so he's pretty healthy.
Yeah, what's his name?
This is Fred, and this one's Dublin.
Fred and
Dublin.
Dublin, like Dublin, Ireland?
Yeah.
Fred and Dublin. Fred is 27 years old. That's amazing. So could I ask what you do with the horses? Do you ever ride? You ride them,
I
right?
ride them myself, and I go on trail rides and stuff, and they're just my pets.
Nice. So every day you go out and feed them and brush them and take care of the barns or whatever?
Yep, they get food, their hay, and water, and get brushed every day.
So you brought them here today so all the adults and children could see the horses, right?
Yep. The pony rides got canceled, so I figured someone could pet them, and they'd love the attention.
And how's that been going today? A lot of children been coming by looking at them?
They love the attention. There's tons of kids.
These are nice, friendly horses because I've been around horses a lot, and I like that they're so friendly.
Oh yeah,
You
they're
could tell.
so sweet horses. They're so good.
I hope he lives for many more years. 27 is getting up there for a horse, isn't it?
Yeah, they around 30 is for a horse his age is when they pass away. So we're hopeful. He's in pretty good health.
Well, that's so nice of you to bring them over. Thank you so much for talking with us, Caroline.
You're welcome.
And in fact, your mother is the chairperson of the farm fair, isn't she, on the board of the Chelmsford Historical Society?
Yes, she is.
So she helps coordinate this whole thing, right?
Yeah, she makes sure everyone comes here and gets everything done.
And your father also is doing the hay rides, right, with his tractor. He's a farmer and an electrician, I guess. So he's doing hay rides today, right?
Yes, he is. I'm not sure where he is now. I think he had to get more gas for the tractor.
Nice. Well, thank you for talking with us, Caroline.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So I'm here with Deb Krupkowski. She's on the board of directors of the Chelmsford Historical Society. Right, board? How are you today, Deb?
I'm fine, thank you. Good to see you. It was a great day today for the farm fair.
Beautiful day. We're at the end of the farm fair, about 4 o'clock on a Saturday. The end of our 12th farm fair here at the Barrett Byam Homestead.
Fabulous.
And you're a director, right? The Ways and Means,
Ways
is it?
and Means, right, which means I get to figure out what we're selling.
Right.
So we have things
Yeah.
here that we were selling.
Nice. And you're doing a great job with it, by the way, as a director of the Ways and Means. And what do you have here, Deb?
Well, these are the new coasters for this year. Of course, our fabulous purple beech tree is immortalized in this coaster, and the Chelmsford Center of the Arts. And then we have our former ones, which has the Chelmsford seal, and we have the Chelmsford, Massachusetts established.
And how much are these?
These are $4 a piece and 4 for 15, and all our items are for sale at Charles Frederick Jewelers, and we want to thank them for their support.
And you're
Sharon McNamara, Public Relations.
nice. And you work there, right, Sharon?
Yes.
So nice. So you're there when people come in, they might have questions about these items or whatever. You being on the board, you'll be able to answer their questions, hopefully.
Yes, absolutely. We have all of these items and actually a few other ones that aren't exactly on display here today. So, yeah, we have them all on display right down to the Christmas ornaments. And so please feel free to come. And, yeah, absolutely.
And the latest books. If you could thank them, for the Chelmsford Historical Society, it's a wonderful thing that they're selling these without even taking any percentage of the profits.
Exactly.
They
Exactly.
stepped right up. They
did.
really did, and it was when we needed a place to sell, and they came right forward and said, we'll do it, and they actually even remodeled and have a nice display area, so please go visit them, and they're wonderful jewelers too, so make sure you go see them.
And we also sell them at the Chelmsford Historical Society events, right, Deb?
Yes, absolutely, and we'll be doing that at the open house the first Friday in December, and come visit. The house will be beautifully decorated by the garden club, and the fireplace will be roaring, and lots of lovely desserts, and it's open to the public, and it's free.
And it begins usually at about 6:30 p.m.
Usually
till
around
about 9:30.
Exactly.
And it's no charge, as you said.
No charge, no
Great
charge.
desserts. I know there's tons of desserts. I love them all.
Right, so drop by, make sure you do.
Yes, it should be a lot of fun. So, and we also, of course, have the booth on the 4th of July and some other events, but every year for the past 12 years we have the farm fair. Was it successful today?
Well, I saw an awful lot of people walking around, a lot of happy faces, so I would say that it probably was. We were here selling all the time, but we had the animals and the apple cider press and the hayride and dog association. There were lots of people here, and wonderful food sold by the girls, the Chelmsford volleyball. So it was a great day. Come next year.
It was, yes. And thank you all for being on our show. Again, we're going to wrap it up hopefully for today. And I'd like to thank everybody who was on the show today, yourselves, and Becky Warren, the president of the Historical Society, and Fred, and so many members, Dina that I spoke with today.
Donna Parley, who ran it all. And
Donna Parley and ran it. I spoke to her daughter, Carolyn,
good.
with the horses. We spoke to many people in the booths.
Did all the
we spoke to Bernie Reddy, and we spoke to Randy about the apple orchard. So we had a great day, I think, today.
We did. And thanks parking, Mr. Peterson, and so
And
did
thank you to
John.
Mr. Weather, too.
John,
Yes, thank you. It wasn't raining.
And thank you, Tom, for all of the support you've given us over the years.
Oh, our pleasure. And
Thank you very much.
so this will post the link to the show on the new Chelmsford News page on Facebook.
Perfect.
We have over 2,000 members already, so hopefully everybody will join that. And we also will have it on YouTube, this video, and also on, of course, Chelmsford television at various times. So thank
Done a
you.
great job.
And thank you to everybody at Chelmsford Telemedia and everybody who watched the show. Thank you. Ciao. So we're at the end of the day at the farm fair here at 2015 at the Barrettbeim Homestead. It was a wonderful day, and everybody seemed to have a great time. The weather was perfect this year. One year we're going to have and it rained both the original day and the follow-on day, so we had to cancel it that year when it rained so hard. So we're so lucky whenever we have great weather. We spoke to many people in the booths, and thank you all for talking with us. We spoke to many people on the board of directors of the Historical Society. Thank you for all that they do. Thank you for Donna Parley for helping to organize this, and for Bernie Reddy with his original idea for it, and for Becky Warren for giving us a tour of the Barrettbeim Homestead. And so for everyone who came out today to the farm fair, for everyone who watched it on TV, thank you very much. I would like to thank our great photography person and editor, Bill Askenberg, and everybody at Chelmsford Telemedia for helping to put the show together. I'm Tom Cristiano. Ciao.